I get the feeling that we're gonna get a lot of hate for this. You watch the entire video before kind of forcing what you think, because this way you're at least forcing what you think with a background understanding of what we believe.
Bwah. Bwah. So, I'm Bigfoot.
I'm the Walrus.
And today we're going to talk about why world peace is a bunch of crap. Want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. Okay. Well, look at it this way. What is the concept that is so great about world peace?
No wars.
No wars, but I mean more depth than that, you fucking idiot.
Okay,
so
well, enlighten us, smartass.
Your families aren't dying. You're not losing those you care about. There's not less a risk of mass pandemics. But you know what?
More risk.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm getting to, I know where you're going with this, but
Yeah.
continue. I know where you're going with it, that's why I said
Everyone's
that.
dying, all this stuff. It's so bad. No, it's not. The more people that are around, the less people that are dying, the more people the government has to support, the more trouble your people will be in.
And the more people there are, the more reason that the more the pandemic will be able to spread, and that's why I said more risk.
Fair enough. Also, thousands or millions, I think millions, a shitload of jobs are provided by the military. And not just the military, also provided by the weapons manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
These are billions of people are going to lose their careers, and they're going to end up on welfare, and this is going to crush your government.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, without the wars, there's not the circulation of the market. The market's not circulating as it needs to for the people to live.
And it's not so much the wars, it's because, okay, we live in an anarchic society because there's no higher government above the nations that is controlling. There's no, like, world government. There's the UN, that's not a world government. It's all the countries coming together saying, hey, let's try to work some shit out together, but they're not a world government.
It's kind of like a student council government.
More or less. It's like if a bunch of people living on an island together had each section of the island, they just kind of got together every once in a while and said, hey, let's try and figure some stuff out. But, so...
I think of it more along as if the world was a high school.
Yeah.
Actually, let's say middle school.
Fair enough. We live in a society where we always need an army to be ready to defend ourselves against an aggressor. Like in the Cold War, the US had to have their nukes prepared against Russia and vice versa. So, the fact that we also have to have our armies at the ready employs people. You have, obviously, the infantry, you have the weapons manufacturers that the Walrus mentioned, you have technicians, you have the grunts, like the janitors who maintain the military bases, you have the people who manufacture the vehicles, and the armor, and night vision goggles, boots, people who have to manufacture brooms in order to keep things clean, all that stuff.
On top of that, there's also the companies that use the funding that they use for the military, and they use that money to expand other advancements in the technology for other fields.
And I'll get to that. So then you have all these people now unemployed, and these governments have to deal with them. A lot of governments have welfare handouts. So now the government's trying to keep up with all these people unemployed, as unemployed skyrockets. So they have to give welfare handouts. Well, the government has to give welfare handouts on top of the stuff they already have to do, like maintain roads, maintain public education, maintain public health care if they have it, their main government buildings, wherever they, their banks, whatnot. So then they have to spend all this money, and the more money they spend, the more likely they have to borrow, less likely they'll be able to pay it back. And so if they have to borrow and they can't pay it back, interest rates go up because like, well, I don't know if you can pay it back, so I need the extra assurance that I'll get my money back, and I'll be okay if I lend you money. Because who are they going to borrow money from? Other countries. They borrow money from banks that other countries contribute to. So this causes interest rates to go up. If they can't borrow, they can't afford to borrow them, they can't afford to hand out money to the people unemployed, so they have to put on welfare freezes. So now no one's getting money. So now no one can buy anything. So now this puts companies out of business. And eventually, a crash.
Thing is, every country will be in the same crisis.
So
they won't be able to borrow from anybody because everyone's going to be needing to borrow.
Riots, protests, chaos. So you're back in violence and no more peace. So world peace creates no peace, in a sense. Like we're talking about the US is going to need to borrow big chunks of money, because who's got the biggest military? The friggin' US. Well, he's one of the biggest militaries. China, big military, they need to borrow. UK, huge navy, no more war. That navy becomes obsolete, all those people are out of work. So now, here's the big thing, world peace. Why world peace is bad. What's war good for? Advancing technology. And here's a good example of this. We have nuclear power right now. Cheap, clean, runs
Well, not relatively clean.
relatively well. It's pretty clean and it's safe with how we're managing to store it. But how did we get this great form of power? The Manhattan Project. What did the Manhattan Project do? Create the first nuclear bomb. Sure, it killed 140 million people and counting, still today. But we got nuclear power out of it. How did we get the internet? The U.S. military needed a way to communicate with each other long range. So we got the internet because they created this network of computers in order to communicate with each other from an aircraft carrier in the South Pacific to a military or like an embassy in China. So that's where we get the internet from. If you drive a fancy BMW, the Nazis. The Nazis. BMW is German, and I couldn't tell you what it stands for if I wanted to, because I can't remember what it stands for. But BMW originally made planes for the Nazis, but when the Nazis lost, they thought, well, we should also keep making vehicles.
They were forbidden from making planes.
Well, they couldn't. Yeah, exactly. Germans couldn't build their armor anymore. It was one of the restrictions of World War II, so they made cars. So if you drive a fancy BMW, you can thank World War II for that, and the fact that the Nazis were, supremacists and fascists.
Fans of nice vehicles.
Yeah, fans of nice. Well, the Germans, anything German is fantastic.
Not quite. The language is kind of angry. Imagine trying to talk dirty to a girl in German. It's like, Das Rock!
The reason we advance is because we need to advance. You always want to be better than your enemy. Always want to be better than your enemy. So if your enemy has, let's say, a car, you're going to want to build a plane. I'm going to build a spaceship. Then I'm going to build a space station, destroy your spaceship on the way up into space. You always want to be better than the enemy. So that's why we develop these advancements.
If he learns how to ride a dolphin, I'm gonna saddle up 2 dolphins and I'm gonna surf behind them.
There you go.
That'd be fucking awesome.
And so if we don't advance, we can't become better as a society. We can't become technologically more advanced. We can't eventually reach, places with aliens. We can't better explore our ocean floors. We can't better communicate with each other. We can't better improve transportation. We can't improve the way we educate people.
As things stand today, world peace will cause war.
So comment with whatever you feel like saying. I imagine a lot of you socialist, communist, left-wing nut jobs are gonna say that world peace is the best and we'll all be great and happy and singing kumbaya, and that's all we need, and you guys can go suck a big one. And we'll see you on the next video. I'm Bigfoot.
I'm the Walrus.
And we'll see you next time.
Wah.